right, it looks like the technology is telling me that this is live and we're actually going. So we're just going to go for it, okay? Let's see what happens with the rest of the technology. Hopefully this will work. This report is being recorded live because I don't really have a lot of options right now. Typically, I like to work very, very privately, very securely, very quietly in a recorded session, which I upload. But it's not possible. It's almost impossible here right now because of certain limitations with the internet. So their only option is to stream it live, capture it, and encode it straight onto the channel. Okay, so that's what we're doing. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the chat, and I haven't been able to work it properly recently anyway, so good luck with that. But if you guys want to hang out, you're welcome. This particular report is for Pisces. That's you guys. It's the March 2019 Love and Relationship Mini Generic Report. And we're going to try and keep it short and sweet and simple, okay? And make the best of it. Before we get into it, a couple of things. This is the Astro Doodle for Pisces for March 2019. We're not going to spend hardly any time on this report here because there's a whole playlist, all right? There's a whole playlist for the Astro Doodles. So what I'm suggesting is check out the separate playlist, just like you do for the Tarot, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Reinterpret to your own needs. And then this will add a degree of texture and richness and greater understanding to the report that we're going to do here in a few moments, okay? So I hope this helps. I'll give a couple of hints off this in just a moment. Meanwhile, personal readings. If you need that, check the links below. Membership. This is the best way you guys can say thank you. I love taking care of you guys and doing all this stuff for you, but it really helps to have something reciprocal in return, the laws of fair exchange and all of that. Membership is one of the best ways you can do that. Check the links below. If you want to, you can just donate outright. Check the link below. There's a spot for that. And also Super Chat works. There you go. So that's the basic. That's the administration, the PR, the marketing, whatever. Let's go to this very, very briefly. This is Pisces season. They call it that because it's March and eventually it changes to Aries. But there's a big, big pile of energy over here in your first house of you, your selfhood, Pisces, okay? So check out the video and you'll understand that, the Astrodoodle video, but that's highly significant. It's kind of a life-changing thing for you. Think of it as your birthday for the next year of your evolution. It's happening right now, okay? Now, let's get on with the reading itself. Hold on. Something important has to happen first. Please bear with me. It's that time of day for Tarot Lumination to enjoy some fermented grape juice. So that's what we're going to do, even if we're doing it live. Hey, I just saw somebody. Why? Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. I don't know why, but thank you. Cheers to you. When we do this, we're using the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread, okay? I decided to make another illustration, hopefully better than the last one, to try and get you guys a clear understanding of what we're doing here, why we're doing it the way we do it. Singles, if you want to, you can watch this report on the understanding that you have to invoke the laws of attraction. Because you're always transmitting and receiving and radiating energy, okay? Even in relationship. And if you're not actually in a relationship, you're still sending out the energies. And the question is, what are you potentially attracting back to you? Maybe not right now, but maybe sometime down the road, because energy flows where attention goes. And eventually you kind of get back from the universe that which you deserve. And that could be something like this in terms of the laws of attraction. So we call it the crucible spread because the crucible is literally a structure. It is a bowl type structure that is used in laboratories to withstand intense alchemical pressures of extreme chemical reactions. So it's just like what happens in human relationships, because human relationships are like laboratories where extreme reactions can occur. as we intimate and separate, as we dive into the relationship, dive into the pool of relationship, sploosh and see what comes out of it, okay? So in this illustration, this is you, okay, Pisces? This is a significant other. A lot of people just relate like this. You to the other, other to you. What can I get out of you? What are you trying to get out of me? What do you want now? Oh, I thought you were doing this. I thought you were doing that. Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Wait a minute, I just want the benefits of the relationship. Wait a minute, I just want the benefits of the relationship. Are you trying to screw me over? No, I thought you were trying to screw me over. And so on and so on. You know, it's like theater. You know, it's not real. It's just theater. You're acting out parts rather than being true to you or the other or the relationship. This is what's actually going on. We need to understand that. There's you, there's the other, and there's a third entity, a living thing with its own energy, life, meaning, and purpose, and flow, and output, just like a plant. That's called the relationship. You guys own that. So it's better if you can be conscious and aware of this, okay? It helps so much when you're aware of the full nature of what happens in relationship. So there's you, there's another, deep in you, deep in the other, and then to the core of the relationship itself, okay? So what is happening here? What are you fostering? What are you nurturing? What is fermenting, okay? Now remember, the relationship is its own thing. Your relationship transmits energy, and it receives energy from the environment, just like you do, just like they do. So you have to be conscious of this. You have to own this whole thing. You guys own this, whether you know it or like it or not. This is how it is, so it helps a lot if you own it and understand it. So let's leave it at that. If we have to, we'll come back to the reference. I'm just going to hold it there steady for a moment so you can have you can freeze frame it or whatever on the action replays, okay? Oh my God, the chat's working again. Hey people. Hey Tiara Love. Hello, I refuse to stop. Hello, why? Thank you so much for being here. Let's get to it. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. Thank you for being here. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Please watch this for sun, moon, and rising. And especially if each one of them is different. And you can even cross-watch for your significant others. I'm sorry about the limitations of the deck and the spread, but it's enough just to work with the few cards that we're going to use here, okay? I don't use a lot of cards in spreads and readings. I tend to divine a lot from a very small number of cards. It's overwhelming at times, even just with a small number of cards. From the tarot illumination perspective, it's like watching a movie, and my job is to narrate the story to you in real time. So that's what I'm doing here right now for you guys, with you guys. Please invite your invisible friends so we make this a team effort. It's much more delicious, more satisfying, more substantial when you bring your invisible friends, okay? Thank you very, very much. This one is for you, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Cross watch for your significant others. Like I said, I'm just going to the last second till I feel comfortable with the deck, okay? Please bear with me. Okay, here we go. Bless this deck. Bless every single card in the deck. Bless you, Pisces. Bless Tarot Illumination. Bless the channel, the camera, the internets, all of it, that we can even do this at all. Bless the electricity. Bless the location. Everything. Here is your energy. What are you radiating? Think of yourself like a smartphone. What are they radiating? Deep down inside of you, deep down inside of the other, and then to the core of the relationship itself. So I'm hoping you can see this as the bowl structure we talked about, okay? Let me put it over here. This would be what is fermenting. Think of it like you're doing your own home brew. homebrew beer or wine or whiskey or something. What are you fermenting? What is being created here? Think of this as a business. You guys own this, whether you like it or know it or not. So it helps to be aware. What are you actually fermenting, nurturing, and growing? Are you just trying to deplete this thing like strip mining? Try to just get in and get out with whatever you can get away with? Or are you investing in the relationship? Are you investing in each other and the relationship so that you can have a legacy, so that the relationship supports you? Okay? Over here, we're going to look at this in a moment. I think of this card representing the circumstantial energy around you. In terms of laws of attraction, this whole thing radiates energy, and then stuff comes back. Also, there is energy coming at you from the universe. Think of the energy of the planets, the environment, your situation, your location, friends, family, jobs, finances, health, whatever it is. You have the King of Pentacles. So my feeling is that I'll just give you my first instantaneous feeling here. For you, Pisces, I think it's very, very, very important to understand the laws of manifestation. When I saw this card, you have to understand how profound those laws really are in reality. Sometimes, you know, with the Pisces energy, everything can be very, very diffuse, very sometimes very incomprehensible for others. Because Pisces energy, you can be so connected with the great beyond, almost like there's no difference between the great beyond and the here and now, and your whole life is like this like swirly dream, and it can be very hard to understand for Pisces themselves, let alone someone else connecting and related to a Pisces. So my feeling is that if you are feeling, let's say, very deeply connected with yourself and your own ability to manifest, that's good. And if you are not feeling fully connected with yourself and in your sense of full, deep integrity, it's very, very important that you need to be aware of the sense of disconnection and then figure out what are you going to do, how are you going to get back into your integrity of like your physical reality. What sort of physical reality are you creating? King of Pentacles energy is like the mastery of physical matter, the mastery of physical manifestation. And it's a tough, long road. It's not something like, you're like, oh, I just want the benefits of the relationship. I don't want to actually work at it. I just want the good things to come to me just because I'm so adorable. No, it doesn't work like that. For everybody, relationships are work. It requires work. Love is as love does, okay? From the Tarot Lumination perspective. And it takes a lot of work, dedication, deliberately extending yourself above and beyond your current status quo, your current existing comfort zones, in order to foster and nurture your own health and spiritual growth and well-being, and that of a significant other, and that of the relationship itself. It's a lot of work. The King of Pentacles is not a trust fund baby, okay? King of Pentacles has probably spent lifetimes getting to the point to be able to be at this degree of manifestation and integrity and having a very firm grip of the understanding of the physical world. What actually happens in the physical world, the laws of manifestation. So I think this is very connected with, I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it, the Pisces new moon with Mercury retrograde, where you're going to have a chance, and it's a very important time and opportunity for you to have a very serious reality check about what exactly are you manifesting in a relationship, in this relationship, or in relationships in general, and how it's incredibly important to take charge and be the boss of this. Otherwise, you live at the mercy of the weather around you, whatever that is, which is, in other words, it's like being fully unconscious. And that's a recipe for disaster. Let's have a look. Okay, with the Strength card here, this is what you're radiating. So my feeling is that somewhere, somehow or other, you're feeling it at the very depths of your bones, like deep into your physical guts, your physical body. The disparity, the difference between a three-dimensional physical relationship where you have all your ups and downs, your everyday stresses, your ins and outs, your goals, ambitions. Maybe you're a young couple starting out. Maybe you're in a midlife couple type thing. Maybe you have been through multiple relationships and you have a string of train wrecks and disasters behind you. Maybe you're in a 20-year marriage and you've got substance and gold that's immeasurable, and you don't look like anything special. Nobody ever says, my God, you're so lucky, you're so beautiful, they're so gorgeous, we so much want what you have. No, you just have the wealth and the abundance inside of you because you've done the work. It might not look that way on the outside, but I guarantee, Pisces, you would know it. You would know what it feels like to have done the work, to have a relationship of serious substance and value. And that means being with someone who's also done the work, who's also willing to do the work to invest and manifest. Okay? So with the Strength card here, my feeling is that there's a part of you which is feeling your life at a very gut physical level, the raw animal level, you know, whatever that might be. Your desire for lust, passion, getting it on, being successful, getting what you want, getting what you need, being satisfied, feeling like you are living your fullest life possible. And it's like, that's great to have that in 3D, but also with this like big cluster that's happening in Pisces for March with the retrograde, my feeling is it's a very strong message like knock, 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 knock. Please understand, in the physical realities of your life, there is a whole lot more going on than you are presently accounting for, dear Pisces, and you need to understand that. My feeling is that there's a lot of stuff that's buried under like decades, years, lifetimes of accumulated, let's say, junk stuff, like an attic, a basement, a spiritual attic, spiritual basement, a spiritual storage unit, a spiritual dumpster, where there's so much hidden that needs to be discovered, but you can't do that until you do the work of what needs to be done so that you can actually tune into what really counts in relationship, which is like let's just say what it is. It's like the spiritual component of a relationship where you realize there's something above and beyond this physical life. Like, you've been here before, Pisces, in other lifetimes. You're here now, and you're going to be back again in other lifetimes, possibly. Some people check out and they don't come back, whatever it is. But in your situation here, my feeling is that you're coming to a very kind of subtle realization under a lot of pressure because of the new moon, sun, moon in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and Mercury retrograde, all piling up at once early in the month. Like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me that relationships were a lot more deep and profound than I knew they were? Why do I feel like I am struggling with having to go to the next level where I, the natural Pisces, where often I have a natural born sense of divinity? Why is that not already happening anyway as my default setting? My feeling here is with you, Pisces, is that you're realizing that life is always about evolution and growth, and no matter how highly evolved you are and like lusciously connected with your life as you are right now, for better or worse, there's a whole other level that is being exposed to you, which you know you're going to have to face up to. You're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to rise up. You're going to have to up your game, being you in your life, in order to continue in terms of love and relationship. In other words, my feeling is that you here are getting a glimpse that your relationship is a much bigger deal than you imagine. It looks more like this, like, whoa, whoa. I had no idea what you were talking about, Terra Lumination. Oh no, now I get it. Yeah, I'm trying to convey that. See this as like a trippy, weird movie where you're realizing that this whole thing is a much bigger deal than you imagined, and you've already got a lot invested, a lot to do, and you can't let down your guard. Once you're operating at these levels, you can't dumb yourself down. You can't just say, I'm sick of being this. I'm just going to take off the crown and the robes, and I just want to kind of have a really simple, benign love life relationship where I don't have to worry about all that really important stuff that you're talking about, Terra Illumination. It's too much for me. But you can't get away from it. You have to deal with it. It's happening right now. What about the other? So with the Two of Pentacles, my feeling is that in some ways you're very lucky, Pisces. You might be relating to someone who is, it's like they're there for you, but in the context of a relationship, they're actually struggling because, remember, this is not a couples reading, Pisces. It's all about you, and we're allowing for a significant other in the storyline, okay? Like you're the star of the reading, and they're the co-star, okay? So over here with the other, my feeling is that they're with you, they're along, and things are going up and down. There's the emotional challenges, and they are basically kind of rolling with it just as you're going with your own struggles, your own internal war with the egoic self versus the spiritual self, even though you're a Pisces, okay? So that sends out waves, okay? It sends out waves as you basically deal with the raw animal part of yourself versus the divine part of yourself. You are a human being. You are a spirit in a material world. You are heaven living in a physical body in one way, shape, or form or another, and needing to oscillate and flow and swim between the two extremes, the two elements. Your physical life here and and the divine, like the divine life that you're living here as well. So you already know about this stuff, Pisces, because you're a Pisces. But that puts, in some ways, a lot of pressure on a relationship, okay? So there's you, just being you over here. But my feeling is that it sends out waves that are actually very hard for the significant other to handle. And so they're like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on with my Pisces person? I'm barely managing to keep things balanced afloat. It's literally like, ballast in the ocean on a ship. What do they call them? Those gyroscopic ballast controls, where the ocean can be doing this and this and this, and the life and the flow of your journey and relationship can be doing that and that. But the gyroscopes, or whatever they're called, the gimbals, are actually balancing things out. So as though you're standing on the deck of the ship and everything's just fine. You know how they have those, have you ever seen those on smaller sailing boats where they have kitchens and dining room tables and everything that are set on gimbals? So even if the boat is going this way, whoa, the table stays like this. And then if the boat goes this way, whoa, the table stays like this. So they're doing, and my feeling is that they're doing an extremely good job of handling your wobbliness. Okay? So in a way, you're kind of lucky, Pisces, because some folks they wouldn't tolerate this. They wouldn't tolerate you. They wouldn't tolerate the relationship. Because to me, this looks really demanding. Okay, what about deep inside of you? Okay. So with the Page of Swords here, my feeling is that this feels it's very closely related to the Mercury in retrograde period, where Mercury retrograde is basically let me just double check something. I want to double check one of my charts here. Stay there. Don't go away. Don't go away. I have to do some juggling here. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here at the stage. Okay, it's just as I thought. So Mercury is basically effectively retrograde the whole month. A few days leading in, a few days leading out. Stationary retrograde and stationary direct, and that's fine. So with the Page of Swords here, my feeling is just like, this is one of those moments, just like a holy uck moment. Deep down, you know this. You know there's no escape from it. It's just like, oh no. Oh no. I knew this was coming. I knew my natural whistleblower Piscean part of myself was going to come back at me and call me out. Because if I don't respond to the call, then I get stuck in an evolutionary tide pool, and I don't want that. So now I have to face the Mercury retrograde Pisces, and that's effing annoying. Damn it. But you're facing it anyway. You're doing it anyway, because the Pisces retrograde Mercury thing is going to be like the rebel, like the calling out the truth, and it's basically going to be shaking you up and saying, listen, Pisces, it's about time you basically accepted certain things and realities and truths about what they really, really are. And I'm sorry if this is very upsetting for you, but you need to know, otherwise you're going to just stagnate. You know that expression, evolve, adapt, and grow or die, all right? So that's what I feel is going on here, and this is you reluctantly accepting that that's just how it is. It would be so nice if we could just reach a certain plateau of status quo where everything is cool when you reach one of those great, wonderful, happy moments in your life, and then you could just press the pause button and lock it in and just keep it that way forever. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go have a look over here. So with the Three of Swords, please don't be scared, okay? You know, don't go, ah, no, total elimination, please don't tell me. With the Three of Swords here, my feeling is that there's a significant other over here who is in their own very discreet way. I don't think they're trying to, like, you know, do some dirty, devious, you know, cheating behind the scenes stuff here. My feeling is that this is much more like an alarm bell, where deep down they're doing everything they can to hold the stability of their relationship and their integrity with you in the context of this relationship, okay? They're just doing everything they can to live their life in the context of the relationship. But the reality is, like, let's just blame it on the planets. There's a lot of stuff going on with you, Pisces, that is really stirring things up here, okay? Which is making it very awkward for them to maintain their equilibrium. And it's at the point where sometimes they wish, like, I can't take this anymore. I am actually starting to send out alarm bells. I am also, it's just like, it's like they're almost at the point where they're sending out the alarm. Beep, 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 beep. I can't handle it anymore. Deep down, I can't handle this anymore. I'm just going to shut up. I'm not going to scream it out. I'm not going to tell anybody. I hope they don't freak out. I hope you don't freak out. But I just, deep inside, I'm actually freaking out because I'm not sure how much more I can handle of you, Pisces, going through whatever you have to go through. So my feeling is that you, Pisces, need to know this now. Like, please treat this report as like a weather forecast. Hopefully you guys will watch this soon, and that'll help you to get through the month, because it looks to me like you're going through some really choppy times. The thing is, when you have conjunctions like that, Sun and Moon together, Neptune right on it, and then Mercury right on that, and it's retrograde pretty much the whole month, that's a lot of pressure all at once. And that's great because it's all Pisces, but nevertheless, it's still a lot of pressure on you and that can be reflected and reciprocal back from the other. So it could actually translate into something very uncomfortable in terms of the relationship. Okay? Uncomfortable for you too. Even though it's actually potentially very valuable and rewarding, it's a lot of pressure. Okay? So let's go over here. What about the core itself? Look at that. Oh. It's almost, to me, this is almost exciting. This is almost like, I'm going to give you my first impressions, okay, Pisces? It's almost like, wow, you know what? I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't really know relationships could be this so hard. They're so tough. I'm sorry you're freaking out over there. Even if you're pretending that you're not freaking out, thank you for hanging out with me in the relationship and the journey. It's just like, God, when is this going to be over? When are we going to get through this spell? Because I'm barely hanging on, frankly. And then you go back to yourself, and they go back to themselves, and they kind of go, actually, you know what? This is kind of cool. We're actually handling the pressure. Look at us. Look at you. Look at me. Look at us. This is something we should celebrate. In other words, like, you know, imagine you're going on an epic journey together and you've gone through all sorts of stresses. You've had fights, arguments, pitfalls, burnouts, ending up in a roadside ditch. You're blaming them. They're blaming you. And then you realize, ha! This is actually silly. You know, you get to the point where you're going to laugh or else you're going to cry. And so you realize, you know what? Okay, let's just deal with this. This is what we've done. This is who we are. This is what we've got. We might as well enjoy it. In other words, it's like just like two people who've had a car break down on the side of the road, and they're thinking like, you know what? You should have checked the oil. Well, I thought you checked the oil. Well, what about the battery? Did you leave the headlights on? Oh, I thought that was you. I thought you wanted them on. Well, the battery's flat. Well, I told you you should check it. And then you look at each other. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We're insane. I'm insane. You're insane. Ooh, yes. Let's celebrate. And you look at each other and realize, wait a minute, honey. I know we're stuck out in the middle of nowhere. You're struggling. You're struggling because of me. I'm struggling because of me. But we got a bottle of this in the trunk. I remember I left it there. Let's break it out, honey. Cheers. And then you celebrate your relationship. And then somebody drives by and they say, hey man, do you need a jump start? Hey man, what are you drinking? What do you got? And then you realize, wow, this is so cool. Who could have ever planned this in my life, your life, our life? Let's celebrate. Let's enjoy the breakdown. Let's enjoy the fact that we're completely screwed up. Yay! What's happening here? Like, okay, you see, with the Empress, to me this looks like you're going through like what happens when a relationship is stretched to the extreme, and you go deeper and deeper and it gets more and more extreme, and you get to the point where you realize, oh, this is actually kind of fun. It's like we're watching our own movie about us, and we went through a disaster, and we're recovering, and like the cool part is the adventure itself. And you think like, wow, we've just created something epic. And you start to realize, wait a minute, I'm a Pisces. I'm highly creative and imaginative. Did you film all that, honey? And then they kind of look at you. Well, I thought you were doing that anyway because you're like the loopy loony one who has the imagination. You do that. Like, well, I didn't film it. You've got the smartphone? No, I thought you had the smartphone. Well, my battery's dead. Well, I thought, oh. So you didn't actually film everything, but you realize you just had something amazing and delicious, and it was kind of like an epic journey, and you've created something that's really luscious and rich, and you think, wow, we're actually living in our own movie, and this is kind of cool, and we've just lived through some very challenging parts, and we're living through something really cool, and then that just gives you a sense of joy, like, wow, we couldn't have the cool stuff and the fun stuff and the good stuff without having gone through the really hideous, crappy, awful stuff. Just like a movie. You know, this is exactly, you know, those movies where, I forgot the title, I think it's a Jim Carrey movie, where everything is perfect all the time and everybody's living like a zombie. Everyone's happy all the time by contract. And that's exactly what this is not. This looks to me like something where there's the ups and downs, the chaos, the imbalances, the emergency situations, the calling out of the truth, and it's all very awkward and uncomfortable and embarrassing. But then you realize, actually, that's the substance of life. This is something of great value. We have something of great value. We have something of great abundance. We made this. We own this. And this is very, very, very cool. So, right now, my feeling is that, like, look at this over here, okay? Big question mark. What is the relationship actually radiating? What are you guys growing? What have you grown? You've got something potentially very fertile and gorgeous. It might not be what you've expected, how you planned it, or how you wanted things, but nevertheless, it's like you get to watch your own selves in your own movie, and you start to think like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. I never knew life and love and relationships could be like this. And however, that's what's happening. You look at them, they look at you like, wow. We're the stars in our own movie. You're being you and you're being you. That's pretty cool. Should we play the action replay rewind? We're in Mercury retrograde. I need to see that bit again so I can understand it better. Okay, I think I can handle it. I'm already maxed out, but I get it. Thank you so much, because if we don't, I don't see how I can spiritually ascend. I have to. I have to. That's my mandate. It's my manifest destiny. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Thank you. Okay, cool. Let's get back to it. Okay, here we go. So that's your reading. I don't want to say anything more. I hope you get something out of this and you can make something of it for you. Thank you so much. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna check the chat. Oh, I reckon. Hey, Love Triber. Hello, I Refuse to Stop. Hello, Tiara Love. Hello, Y. Hello, Anna Rokon. Oh, hi, Anna. I'm just going to explain that about the other readings. I'm recording these live right now, but after a while, what I'm doing is I'm putting it on like a private lockdown, because I still have a bunch more readings to do, and then I'm going to put them all together in one big block on a playlist, and then they're going to go public, okay? And it's only going to take a couple of days, so just hang in right now. I just wanted everything to come out simultaneously instead of just like dribbles and bits and pieces, okay? So you'll get the reading. Don't worry. It'll all come back. Just hang in for a few days, all right? Sometimes it takes me days and days and days to make these reports. Sometimes I can only do a few a day. Thank you so much, Pisces. Thank you for being here. I hope you get something out of this. And check out all this stuff, okay? Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Thank you so much. Cheers. And welcome to your own movie. Bye-bye.